sure that it kind of came out the way I want. So let's get going. I made this right here, and it doesn't look like very much at the moment, but this is the beginnings of a Japanese style roof. Let me go to my little add tool here, press C to go back to my square. So a Japanese roof. Basically, the Japanese roofs, they're not like Western style roofs. Western style roofs have a sharp degreed angle roof style, and the Japanese and Oriental styles have this like a curvature to it, like this. And I wanted to make that effect, so I kind of played around and I kind of worked out my own little mojo. And what I've got here is I've got a vertical 3 voxel section here, and then everything after that is a 1-to-1, and this goes down for, I believe, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 single drops. And then when you get to the 7th drop, we have a 3 voxel long, which gives it a 2 voxel thick here, 2 voxel thick here, and a 2 voxel thick here. And then once we get down to the next one, so we got 3 double voxels, and then we come here and we have 2 3 voxel lengths. And I made sure that I added that 1 voxel underneath the bottom edge here, so it's thick enough so when we do our smoothing, it literally has a smooth curve to it, and we don't like punch holes in it. So that is the beginning of my little Japanese roof system. I'm going to copy this and let's pull it out onto the floor. Control V, like so. And let's pretty much make this thing pretty long. And I'm going to get this thing all lined up for us here eventually. There we go. Okay, so now that I've kind of like multiplied this thing, and then you can start seeing the actual shape of how this thing looks, I'm going to grab my selection tool and I'm going to grab this whole thing, bring this up, take my smooth tool, and I'm going to hit this 3 times. And that should smooth it up just the way I need it. And then I'm going to grab this center section, pull it down, Control Copy, Control Paste, or Control V, sorry. So now I have like this little bit of a ridging here. It's not very, it's going to have this ridging, so I'm not really worried about it because of the type of material I'm going to be painting on this thing here. But the more you play with it, you can probably smooth that up fairly easy. So let's chop this out. Put this over here on the side. So basically we went from this to this, and then I chopped out the center for this. Let's go ahead and grab that top section here. Copy it and paste it. I'm going to pretty much do the same thing I did just a few moments ago. I'm going to elongate this. V to mirror it. And I'm going to paste it on the other side. So now we have that curvature kind of forming out on us here. Now, there are several things that we can kind of do from this point. Some of the roofs that you've kind of seen with the Japanese, if we come and bring this thing back up, we hit the tilde and rotate it like this. Let's bring this off to the side because I'm gonna need to cut a piece out of it for this next little section. Let's bring this up in the air. I'm gonna take my selection tool, grab one piece, and drag it out. Control copy, Control paste, Control V. Let's bring this up. I'm going to line this up with that center section as much as possible. Like that. Now what we're going to end up attempting to do here is that this beam and this beam, I'm going to slowly cut them and paste them, and they're going to slowly come together in a herringbone like this, where it literally kind of overlaps like this as I'm going down, so it actually creates this like ridge line effect all the way down until it comes down into a point. So here we go. Hopefully this does not fail and I look stupid in the process, but it has worked in the past with other roofs that I've done, so let's see if it actually works this time. So, and the little trick to the herringbone here is you have to make a selection on this side and then make a selection on this side, and you paste in. You select this one, you paste in. You select this one, -1. Copy that, you paste it in, and you're basically going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until you all the way come into that single point. So here we go. Let's start this process. Now I'll try to go through this as quickly as I can here, and hopefully it doesn't like totally screw it up in the process of me trying to do it. So we grab that side, come over here, and right where that one has met this one, we go one in front of it, we grab that. Come down, copy, paste, bring it down, butt it up against, and out one, there we go, paste. We're going to basically be bouncing back and forth until we come all the way to that center, to that meeting point between the two. This is a kind of a drug out process, but this is probably one of the best ways that I've found to actually do a merger point between different section of roofs. And you can do this with not only this type of a roof, but you can do it with standard size type roofs as well. And you'll get this small little effect where it's kind of doing bumping here, but it's a very clean process to fix it. It's not quite as bad as trying to, you know, do it single little piece at a time. You just take your smooth tool and tap it one good time on that. It usually kind of clears that up. Copy, paste. Let's bring this back in here. Boom. But as you can see, it's kind of coming together pretty good here. So, and kind of forgive me if I get a little quiet here in a moment, because I'm going to try to do this as quick as possible. And of course, this thing is going to look even better when I put on the actual materials that I want this thing to have once it's done. I mean, right now we're doing it in stucco, but once we actually come in and we paint this thing with like burled wood, you know, like shingles, and we do our trim work with, like, you know, plain wood, like crown molding or something like that, to do the little detail work on it. It's going to look, you know, fairly nice. But these are some of the techniques that I kind of like started doing when I was working on some of my builds with the lethality group, and some of the other builds that I've done for my personal reasons. As you can tell, it's kind of shaping up a lot better now, and I am almost done with this section. Now we got a little artifact there, but I think I can take care of that with a simple copy paste. Copy, paste. Now when I get to this outside corner, if you look at some of the pictures of Japanese roof styles, by just doing like a Google search or something like that, a lot of times in the very corners of the particular roof, you know, where the corners meet, they have like these little curves that kind of come up into like a point. I'm gonna try to address that as well in this video, and we may end up having to do those pretty much by hand, and to get the actual styling that we want for it. But slowly but surely it is coming together, and I will be finished in a moment. It is kind of a slow process here. Kind of makes me wish I had fast forward. Oops, I missed the very end of that one. Copy, paste. We're slowly but surely getting there. And you can, like I said before, you can actually do this with, you know, standard Western style type roofs as well. It was pretty much the same technique that I used for my other roof video. But I did have somebody that wanted to see how to make a Japanese style roof. And which their roofs are definitely different than ours, just because they have that curvature in them. And to be honest, I think they have some of the most beautiful roofs in architecture, honestly. So, all right, so pretty much coming up on the end here. Copy, paste. Almost done, guys. Almost done. There we go. It's kind of hard to grab that one. Kind of zoom in a little bit more here. And kind of coming into a little bumper stop here. So this corner is going to look kind of funky, I think, but I think we can fix that. So we got a little funky little thing going on here, but the overall shaping of the roof is looking, you know, fairly nice here. Let's go back up here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select this single voxel right next to it here, copy, and I'm going to paste it right in that hole and fixed a little bit of it. So let's take our smooth tool and tap it one time. There you go. Fix that little bump. Now let's try to create this angle piece coming straight out here. This is pretty much at a 45-degree angle, so we'll kind of try to work off of that. And let's do a selection tool. Bring this up. I'm going to create a, let's do a 9x9. Fill in this gap. We'll push in this side. Hold my shift or hold my control key to grab the bottom side. Pull it up. Hit my delete key. So now I have pretty much like a perfect 45 going on here. Take my line tool, put it to a 2x2. Make sure this thing's lined up the way I want. And hit my checkbox. Looks kind of awkward. I'm not sure why it's coming out like that, but normally it comes out with a really straight line. I'm going to take my selection tool and I'm going to kind of bounce down this outside edge until my corners are basically here and here form that straight line. Let's grab that one voxel, do a control copy, exit out, and I'll go ahead and delete all of this because I won't need it. Delete. Control V to paste. As you can tell, I've got this little angle that I can kind of work with. Well, looks kind of funky though. Didn't quite turn out the way I wanted it. So, but that's how you can get an angle at any rate. I might have to pull one off my board here to work with, but that's how you get angles. And let's come over here and let's grab this one because it's perfect, and I'll use that. Control V, bring this up, paste it out here so I can get to it later. Hit tilde so I can rotate, tab, kick it off to its side like that. I'm going to move this into the position up against my wall, or up against this roof. Bring it down, bring it all the way to the very end, push inwards and hit my checkbox here. Now I'm going to tab through so I can rotate it, tilde, and we'll put that one right next to it like that. I'll take my add tool, add one here, and add one here. Grab this selection again. Actually, let's grab the one I already have up here. Control copy, control paste, and I think I might have it right where I want it there. Put one here. Rotate it around, click. Let's rotate this around one more time. Hopefully this will actually turn out the way I want. Let's come back in and let's put a little bit more meat right here at this connection point. Let's rotate that around one more time. Tab, tilde, tab. go. Actually, this kind of popped out exactly the way I wanted it. So there we go. So now we have these little like raised points on the end, and you could probably play with it and make it a little bit better looking than this. Let's try this. There we go. Let's select this whole entire little corner section. I'm going to tap it one time with the smooth tool. Let's bring this in like that. So I got a 4x4 here. And let's tap it one time with the smooth tool. So I got these little points on the end, and you could probably play with this even a little more to kind of beautify it a little bit, but we're kind of getting pretty close to the look we're looking for. I'll give it this solid base on the bottom and select this and tap it once with smooth. There we go. Now, once we're at this point, let's go ahead and clear out my area so I can actually get this thing at full scale size. And that way I'll have some room. I think this one over here needs to go too. So. Key on that, and I'll go ahead and delete this this voxel I have off to the side as well. Now let's select the whole entire thing. Pretty much down the center section here. I don't need this one on this side. It's pretty much just a guide. Control copy, control paste. Tab through until you get your directional markers going this way. Hit your V key to mirror. Scroll that out. Go down. And let's get this sucker into position. Click. Now we're already going in this direction, so we'll hit our V key again to mirror it. Bring it down and into position. I'll kind of bring this in a little bit so we can kind of shrink it a little bit. And we almost got this sucker lined up, I think. That looks good. Check. And one more corner and we'll have our roof pretty much set in stone here. If I can just get it in position, I'll be happy. There we go. I think I pretty much got it in there now, so let's go ahead and hit paste. Now, when you're looking at it like this, you can see the ribs in there, and I kind of want that in a way. So, but I'm going to come over to this corner. I'm going to grab right about here and bring it all the way to the other side, like so. So I have my selection. Oops, whatever, one more. Let's make sure I got my bottom selected. Yep. I'm going to pull this up straight without grabbing the very top, like that. Let's go into my wood selection of materials, and let's go to burled wood and burled wood shingles. Let's grab that, take my paint tool and paint. Now we're going to grab this top section, and I want this to be my plain wood horizontal. Paint that. And I'm going to do the same thing with these corner pieces. I'm going to paint it with plain wood as well. Make sure I have that whole thing selected. Paint this. Go back to my selection tool, drag it all the way to the other side. Get it lined up. I think I'm good there. Paint. Grab the top corner there. Push it out and push it down. And I think I got it selected, so let's paint that. And then drag that all the way to the other side as well. And we will paint that side. And as you can tell, that just that ridging actually kind of gives it a little bit of texture. You could probably go smoother than that if you wanted to. You can definitely take your smooth tool and tap it a little bit on those edges and kind of smooth them out like this, all the way down that herringbone, just to kind of smooth it out some more. But other than that, there you go. Oriental Style Roof.